Hello and welcome to a new pick a card reading. In today's reading, we're doing a check-in. I'm hoping to keep these short and sweet, but you may know me, you may not. I talk a lot. Anyways, we are taking a look at just a regular check-in. So what we want to do today is we're going to ask Spirit for a reflection, a prediction, and a direction, so an area of focus. So I'm hoping to really kind of nice and neatly, quickly get you as much grounding and as much awareness as possible in just like the smallest little reading. We're gonna try. Let's see how this goes. So I have prepared 3 groups. This is group 1, 2, and 3. We have different tarot decks for each group, so I'm gonna cut these and show you what the decks look like so you can get an idea of the vibe and see which deck might be calling to you. So group 1, this is your tarot deck. That right here is the 8 of Swords. Now, we don't have to take into account what we split this deck to, but I mean, you know, information is information. Group 2, this is the 6 of Swords, and this is your tarot deck, along with your crystal. Group 3, this is your tarot deck. We got the Ace of Cups here. And this is your crystal for group 3. All right. I must say, guys, the opening of this pick a card reading is a little bit different from what I usually do. It's a little bit more chaotic. I blame the sun being in Gemini. It's fine. I'll survive. My perfectionism will haunt me, but I will survive, okay? I'm going to give you a moment to zone in or zone out, whichever you need, in order to determine which deck is calling you the most. Timestamps are in the description below, and I will meet you at your reading. Hi, Group 1. This is your reading if you chose this white. What even is this? Is this an oval? Is this a square? Who knows? It's a marshmallow. Okay, you chose the marshmallow. We're just gonna roll with that. I know all of the names for these crystals, but not right now. Honestly, right now it's just too much to ask of me. So if you have any guesses, go ahead and share them in the comments. Spirit, for group 1, what is going on? We would like a reflection, a prediction, and a direction. Let's figure it out. What do we need to figure out? First of all, we're going to start off with a reflection. So we're doing 3 rows of 3, a reflection, a prediction, a direction. Spirit, I'm going to pull them all out first and then give you like the overall vibe. Spirit, can we get for group 1, everyone attracted to group 1, can we get a reflection for group 1? Those are multiple cards that fell out. One at a time, please. A reflection for, these are still multiple. That's a whole slew of cards. All right, let's calm down our energy. We have the Moon. And we have the Emperor. Wow. You've been putting in a lot of work. You've been putting in a lot of work to establish a new emotional cycle. You've been transmuting a whole lot. All right. We have a prediction. And then, Spirit, can we get a direction for group 1? Can we get a direction? 3 cards, please. Okay, one at a time, please. Thank you. All right, we have the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. This has everything to do with your stability. Wait, this came out this way. Okay, this has everything to do with your stability overall, and the importance of emotional discovery that the importance that emotional discovery has on your stability. Okay, so in terms of, oh man, it's really bugging me that we're not. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't see. Can you tell I didn't plan this? Okay, it's fine. We'll survive. So, when it comes to the reflection that Spirit is inviting you to do, meaning what they're trying to point out to you is that you have leveled up in an emotional capacity. And therefore are entering a new stage. And whenever you enter kind of like a new arena, you automatically feel like a beginner again. And Spirit is saying like the reflection that they have is to be proud of the progress that you have made, that just because you are beginning again or that you are the newcomer in a new realm and a new frequency, that doesn't mean that you are not established, that you are not accomplished, right? It's just, I mean, if anything, this is proof of you being accomplished. So this is coming through very strongly, especially because we have the Emperor, and then underneath that we have the High Priestess. So here we have the Temperance card in reverse with the Two of Pentacles. What that is telling me in terms of this line is the prediction, right? The prediction is that you are probably going to be encountering some spiritual imbalance because you've been doing so much work. It's not that this is a test, it's just that you are now swimming in the big leagues is kind of what's coming through. It's like you've left the kiddie pool, okay? And that's not to say that the stage that you were at, I'm not trying to infantilize you, it's not to say that the stage where you were at previously was simple or anything like that. This is just to kind of explain the changes, right? And when you leave the kiddie pool, which is a very small and very predictable kind of area, and you go into the bigger pool, there are areas in the bigger pool where you can have a shallow depth, and there's the deep end, right? And so when somebody jumps into the deep end, it creates these ripples, it creates waves. There's a lot more variables going on. So with the prediction, what I'm getting is that you will feel a little bit left out to dry, left out in the cold when it comes to your spiritual team. They're not disappearing. They're not letting you fight for yourself, but they are kind of taking a step back because this has everything to do with being able to apply the knowledge that you have integrated. And with the High Priestess, this kind of feels like the prediction here is saying that you will be encountering some rougher waters with the Temperance card, but that you have all of the knowledge that you need to navigate those waters, and that is meant to help you feel more secure with the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Now, the direction that we have at the bottom down here is talking very much about this is about the area of focus where Spirit is saying, like, yes, this might be something that feels a little bit unstable, but you are going to be perfectly equipped to handle it. And so here we have the advice on what to focus on overall. And we have the Knight of Wands, we have the Three of Wands, and we have the Ace of Cups. So one of the cards that tried to come out, now I forgot it, but it was a similar energy, so it doesn't really matter which card it was. But I always pay attention to the cards because I pay attention to how those energies might change the nuance of the message, and it was very much confirming the Knight of Wands energy with the Three of Wands, because it's all about expansion here. And so Spirit is asking you to stay focused on being drawn towards things that you haven't experienced, things that maybe are a little bit outside of your comfort zone. With the Ace of Cups here, it's saying that there is a new beginning in the way that you connect emotionally to people, right? So here already we're having this reflection of like, oh wow, you've closed a huge emotional cycle and you're starting a new one. Don't let the reality of that, because on an emotional level it can feel it can feel almost melancholic to close out a chapter, and to it can be so, we romanticize it a lot as humans, right? We put words to our emotions and it makes it very romantic and dramatic, and this is more so the aftermath of a cycle closing, the way that you reintegrate yourself into your 3D reality, and the way you have changed ripples out into changes that then come back to you as different energy, and the way that you respond and react to that is going to change because it's new, right? If you've closed some kind of emotional chapter, so the way that you interact with the outside world is somehow changing, and Spirit is saying that this is going to be a reflection of the work that you have done, but it won't feel like that. It will feel like you're being tested. It will feel like you're being pushed. It will feel like you're not sure of having made progress at all, because again you're going to feel kind of like a newbie at something, and so this whole reading is kind of saying that, first of all, this has everything to do with celebrating this newly established foundation, and that just because it is new, Spirit wants you to focus on the potential that a newly established foundation has for you, versus you thinking of, oh, and I still haven't built this, and I still haven't created that, and I still haven't, there's a lot of pressure to be further along than you are, and Spirit is saying like, no, focus on where you're at right now, because there's a lot of depth to be gained here. And again, with the Knight of Wands, it is like, yes, you are expanding, and that is a beautiful thing. Okay, this is really a congratulations, but you are going to, it's kind of like when somebody graduates from college and then immediately you're worried about getting a job. It's a very real world fear, right? But you have to keep in mind that you've been training for this, that you've been educated to show yourself as worthy, and to show yourself as, hey, I know what I got going for me, here's my resume, like to be proud of what you've accomplished, right? But that is when we're talking about emotional development and self-development and growth, emotional growth, there's no certificates for that, right? So it's a little bit harder to really take a moment to sit with yourself and be proud of the growth and the developments that you have mastered. Okay, we have the 8th house. The 8th house is all about transformation, of course. Deep, it is a Scorpio house. Okay, see, this has everything to do with a deep kind of becoming, and your external world is starting to shift based on the internal becoming that you have gone through, and so it's going to start reflecting that, but the first signs of it actually reflecting that will feel kind of like whiplash. They'll feel like, wait a minute, I thought I was supported, I thought I had a team behind me, and you do, but you're not going to feel it, because they want you to recognize that it's you that's doing the walking, it's you that's doing the development here, okay? And what I mean by walking is in kind of like walking, why am I thinking walking the plank? Not necessarily that, but it's you that's taking the actions. Like it's you, it's your life, you are centered in your life. And yes, you may have a support system that is spiritually around you, but it's not about them. And so this is about you centering yourself more in your journey. Okay, and that's what's coming through here. We have Jupiter, Scorpio, in the 8th house energy. This is a deep exploration of self-sustainability within, again, foundations of what you believe in, what you're capable of, and the depth to which you can connect and feel. Beautiful energy. All right, I told you we are going to try and keep these sweet, short and sweet. So we are just getting one oracle deck to see if there's anything else that Spirit would like to highlight for you at this time. Spirit, anything else that we need to highlight at this time for group 1? We have boundary. And I think it's interesting that I was already noticing how the Moon card has her hand on her chest, as well as the High Priestess holding this pomegranate, a connection to Persephone here, holding this pomegranate in front of her. And now the boundary card coming out right next to it is also very much, right? We're making huge strides on a heart chakra level. Lots of greens here too. Huge strides. And so I think when we talk about boundaries, a lot of times we talk about enforcing boundaries in a way that is very much about like, hey, this is where the buck stops. I don't know why that came out. Hey, this is how far you get to, make fun of me until I get hurt. Hey, this is how far you get to approach me until I get defensive, right? However, when we think about it the other way around, when we expand our boundaries, not in terms of what people are, bringing towards us, but the ways in which we feel comfortable and safe, emotionally safe enough to show who we are and to allow ourselves to be misunderstood at times, we expand our boundaries in a positive way, right? We expand our boundaries in a way that is perhaps more inclusive. We expand our boundaries in a way that is also more accepting and more, I'm looking for a different word, receptive, more receptive to the things outside of ourselves. And I think that's probably a process that you've been going through, especially with the 8th house. We're talking transformation, kind of like a butterfly, right? So you probably have been, the cycle that you've probably closed out has a lot to do with kind of establishing a lot of very necessary boundaries. And maybe now we're becoming more experimental with those boundaries because we've learned to reconnect with our emotions and ourselves. And so we've learned to trust our inner high priestess. We've learned to trust our emotions more. And so while we are taking the theory into practice, there might be a little bit of adjusting, right? There might be a little bit of fine tuning that we need to do, but Spirit is definitely saying don't disrespect, but also don't dismiss all of the incredible work that you have done to establish your own emotional security, so that it's okay to kind of be more forgiving with these boundaries, but also enforcing them when necessary. There's just, it's becoming, instead of like a strict boundary, it's becoming like a permeable boundary, where it's like some things can come in, some things go out, like there's a little bit more flexibility coming in here. However, you're going to be triggered in ways that will test you, testing is a difficult word. You're going to be triggered in ways where you're going to want to really, really strictly reinforce those boundaries. And Spirit is saying, don't act too quickly there. You know how to navigate with the uncertainty of it and the imbalance of it. You know how to navigate, and that there is a lot of room for kind of research there. All right, we are going to leave it there. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you would like to book a personal reading, you can do so on my website only. I will never message you, DM you in order to sell you a reading, so please don't get scammed. And other than that, I hope I get to read for you again sometime. My other readings are typically a lot longer, so I'm really restraining myself a lot here. Look at how I'm squeezing my hand. I'm restraining myself. I could talk about this a lot longer, but I'm trying. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope I get to read for you again sometime. Until then, take care. Hi, group 2. This is your reading if you chose this Black Obsidian. It's black obsidian. I can't remember if I said it in like the beginning or in the last reading, but I was like, I don't know what these, I know these crystals, but I don't know them right now. But that one's black obsidian. I know that much. All right. Today's vibe is a little chaotic, but you know what? That's life. So we're just gonna deal with it. We are doing 3 rows of 3 cards each. First row is going to be your reflection. The second row is going to be your prediction. And the third row is going to be your direction, meaning your advice. So, Spirit, for group 2, can we get a reflection? I'm going to pull all of the cards and kind of get the context before I start yapping. Okay, we're just taking that one. Okay, and then a prediction. Already, I can tell you, group 2, you are making great strides towards a specific wish, a specific goal. That's very exciting. Ooh. So mysterious. This is the Wheel of Fortune, the Devil, and the Hierophant for your prediction. This feels like it's giving Hero's Journey, which is all of tarot to begin with, but still it's giving very much a main character energy. Has to really kind of step into a make it or break it moment. Now we're getting a direction for you. I love this reading so much because you know what? That's beautiful. Okay. Are you kidding me? This is beautiful. Okay, so here's why I think this is incredible. So the first row is a reflection, and when we're talking about a reflection, this is Spirit taking an opportunity to kind of remind you to reflect on something, right? And what they're reminding you to reflect on is the fact that you have a very particular vision that you are extremely excited about. We have the Knight of Swords, we have the Knight of Swords, and we have the Knight of Wands, along with the Star card. So there is, again, a vision, a wish that you have, something that you foresee for yourself that you've been very determined about. Like, you've put a lot of research into it, you've put a lot of your passion into it, and you've taken action already, right? This is your reflection. You had the wish, you did research, you took action. Now, your prediction is saying that there is going to be a moment where you will be faced with sort of 2 options. And one option is to doubt yourself, and the other option is to believe in yourself no matter what. That is intense. That is very intense. The direction that Spirit is giving is telling you to trust yourself. Of course, are we surprised? Spoiler alert, Spirit is on your side. We have the Queen of Pentacles, we have the Magician, and we have the 10 of Cups. So Spirit is quite literally saying for you to remain stable and focused on your dream. This is Taurus energy here, clearly, with the Bull, and it's about knowing what you're capable of and not wavering, not wavering from that knowledge of knowing what it is that you bring to the table, what you're capable of achieving, of planning, of constructing, of creating. And then we have the magician, which goes hand in hand with that. It's the ability to navigate any circumstances with the main goal being your wish fulfillment, creating something that you envision yourself. Then with the 10 of Cups, we are talking about keeping your eye on the prize, which is the wish fulfillment, right? The 10 of Cups is ultimate wish fulfillment. This is long term, right? And so Spirit is asking you to keep in mind like the long term process, that it's not going to be here. We're looking at you being very energized and very excited. And so something that's coming through here for sure is that this is a marathon, not a sprint. While your excitement is something that really kind of ignites a lot of momentum, there is still a recognition here that we're talking long-term goals. We're talking long-term dreams. We're talking the essence of things, not instant gratification. So not necessarily money, not necessarily fame or riches, but the essence of that, which is security, right? When we're wishing for money, we're not wishing for paper. We're wishing for the security and the stability of not having to worry how we pay for our bills next month, right? We're wishing for that security. And so that's what we're building towards here. And with the last row being the focus, the direction, Spirit is saying, absolutely, we believe in you, so you better believe in you as well, right? With the Queen of, this is kind of like Spirit saying, like, we put our money, like, listen, I'm very excited in today's readings. Also because I'm trying to keep them short. This is giving me a visual of Spirit, God, the universe, energy, whatever it is that you subscribe to. Imagine that, whatever you subscribe to, imagine that entity is sitting at a roulette table. And there is a little square that is your number, that is you, that signifies your ability to create. Spirit says, I got my money on you. With these energies down here, Spirit is saying, I got all on you. So of course, like, you have my vote of confidence. All that matters, the crucial aspect here is going to be that you don't get caught up in this devil energy. And that's why it's in the middle of this reading. Notice that all these other cards are extremely positive, and the devil is the tempting energy in the midst of this. And that is going to be the temptation to choose an easier route. It is going to be the temptation to choose instant gratification over long-term growth. It is going to be the temptation to tell yourself you're safer and more secure where you're at. This is going to be the temptation of telling yourself you don't even want that badly anyways. This is you absolutely just choosing comfort over your own desire, okay? And so that is going to be very crucial to recognize when you're making those decisions, when you're being lured in that direction. So the prediction here, again, with the Wheel of Fortune is that, yes, things will be moving, things will start to, because you're building a lot of momentum here, right? It's kind of like you're, I'm seeing an imagery of trying to get the wheel to move, and in order to do so, you're trying to, like, you're running away from the wheel and then running towards it to get more momentum, right? To get it to push it. This is telling me, with the prediction, this is telling me that the wheel will move. You are going to, this momentum that you have created is going to impact the wheel, and Spirit is asking you to fully commit to fully don't do anything half-ass at this point in time. If there's something that you are really pursuing, do not half-ass it, do not backtrack. We have the Fool card coming out as like the overall energy, and what this is telling me is that there is a little bit of willful ignorance in this journey. But that is exactly what you need. That is exactly what you need to fuel you, to kind of push you over the edge. That is the pixie dust, okay? What do you need to fly? The most beautiful dreams, the most beautiful thoughts. I can't think right now. Think of the most beautiful thoughts. And then you also need a little pixie dust. And the pixie dust is a little bit of willful ignorance. The girlies call it Delulu these days, but no matter what you call it, this is really about, if you have to tell yourself, oh, I need to be delusional or a little bit willfully ignorant in order to fully believe in myself, it's worth it, because the other side of that is just as ignorant. It's just as delusional. The voice that tells you, no, you can't do that. No, that's too dangerous. No, you're asking for too much. That is just as delusional. That's a fair point. See, I channel when I read, and so I've never thought of it that way, but that is a good point, and I should probably write that down somewhere. Anyways, let me not drag this on. Let's get you an oracle card. I'm telling you, I'm trying to keep these short and sweet today. This is very exciting because this is really a lot of confirmation from spirit in saying, like, listen, you've set yourself up to be on target, and the only thing that can take you off of target is you. I love that. You or / and a dependency on comfort. The Devil card is very much about dependency and attachment, but unhealthy attachment, of course, versus the Hierophant is about submission to a larger belief, a structure. And in this regard, it has everything to do with you have the ability to make your vision come true. Can we get an oracle card for group 2? Thank you. What do we got? We have noise. Don't listen to the noise. This is an interesting kind of collective theme that's been coming up. I think we all are dealing with a lot of noise when it comes to our faith and with our understanding. There's a lot of confusion in the air recently. But with this noise card, again, you know what? I'm looking over here, and this Fool is this little drummer thing with wheels. So this is telling me with noise, there's a whole lot of noise going on, and the noise is going to be tempting you to become overwhelmed, to become overstimulated. And when we're overstimulated, we fall back to comfort things. We fall back into what's known, because it's like, oh my God, I'm overstimulated. I can't think. And so this is somehow telling me that when there is a bunch of noise, try to find the rhythm in the noise. Try to find that is beautiful. Try to find the rhythm in the noise. That I am just having the craziest synchronicity right now. Wait a minute. Because I'm looking at this, and I looked over to my computer screen. Freeform. Apple just recently, I updated my computer, and there's this new app. And I think it's just a whiteboard. Yeah, that's what it looks like. There's a new app, and it's called Freeform. But the imagery is a circle, a square, and then a squiggly line, just like this one. And so the fact that I looked over there, that is telling me, again, as I was talking about, find a rhythm in the noise. This Freeform thing is basically a whiteboard. It's to draw, it's to write down notes. So there's something about really taking in a lot of information and collecting it, and it might not make sense until later. But that kind of distracted me for a second. What I was trying to talk about is find rhythm in the noise, right? So perhaps there's a lot of noise coming through and a lot of chatter. And again, that's just a metaphor, but apply it as it resonates. And it would be about, noticing that every now and then there's there's a beat in there, right? And if you highlight the beat, you can work around the beat. And before you know it, you become Charlie Puth and you made a song. But that was so stupid. But really what it's about, because Charlie Puth is known for making a song out of freaking everything, the most ridiculous things, right? And so that's kind of what's coming through here is find your rhythm, but also kind of, if you are drowning in overstimulation, enforce your rhythm onto the overstimulation, okay? Let's roll these dice. We have the 6th house. Yep, that's exactly what we're talking about, because the 6th house is about daily habits and routines. And that's kind of what it comes down to, is that there's going to be it's not going to necessarily be one huge make it or break it moment. This is going to have to do with showing up in like embodying this faith in yourself on a daily basis. And again, we're talking about rhythms, and the 6th house, rhythms are really important for the 6th house. So creating a rhythm is going to help you keep this momentum. Oh, I love this. We have Saturn and we have Aries energy. Absolutely, because that's the thing. Aries energy is cardinal energy. It likes to start things. It has a really hard time with keeping the pace. And so I do see that, like, you're excited about something, but maybe the first doubts you have, you start abandoning that thing. And maybe this is a habit that you have, maybe this is a pattern that you have, and there is something that is at this point in time becoming so important to you that you're like, no, I cannot. And so this is a lesson in maintaining, right? In being what's the word? I'm thinking of, again, the fact that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, of endurance. This is a lesson in endurance, okay? Absolutely beautiful. All right, I think I'm going to leave it there. This is a message in endurance. So again, your reflection is that you've really kind of honed in on something recently that really excites you, that you feel really dynamic towards. Then your prediction is you're going to feel tempted to kind of, talk yourself out of it, and it's going to be really crucial that you don't. And then the direction is, baby, you can make anything happen that you want to make happen. Spirit is on your side. They got their money on you. So absolutely do what you can to stay consistent in this, okay? It's about endurance here. I love it. You are incredibly powerful. I also want to point that out because of the because of the obsidian. You are incredibly powerful. Even with this full energy, like you are embarking on kind of like a new chapter, and it's going to, you're gonna feel a little bit like you have to fake it till you make it, maybe, but not for long. Absolutely not for long. The first kind of few times that you really push that, and I'm getting like a Jack in the Box. The first few times that you push that Jack in the Box back in the box after scaring you and kind of tempting you to be scared, after that, it won't surprise you. It won't surprise you anymore, and you'll become so adapted to kind of shutting that voice up. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for hanging out. If you would like to book a personal reading, you can do so on my website. The information is linked below. I will never DM you to sell you a reading. Please don't get scammed. Other than that, I hope I get to read for you again sometime. Until then, take care. Hi, Group 3. This is your reading if you chose the Sunstone with this fierce little deck. We are going to get right into your reading. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to pull 3 rows with 3 cards each. Row number 1 is going to be a reflection. Row number 2, a prediction. And row number 3 will be a direction, meaning advice for you. So I'm going to pull all of the cards first and kind of see the overall context of what's happening, what's going on. For Group 3, Spirit, can we get a reflection for Group 3? We have the 4 of Wands. We have the 7 of Swords. And we have the 3 of Cups. This is your reflection. Now we're going to get a prediction. Spirit, for group 3, can we get a prediction? I kind of feel like this has to do with relationships, not necessarily romantic, can be family or platonic. It's more so about interpersonal connection. And that may have been affected for you recently. So we have the Four of Wands, the Seven of Swords with the Three of Cups. So there's some sort of reflection of what even is safe for me. Like, what do I consider a safe friendship, a safe connection? What do I consider? Like, there's some kind of readjustment that happened here. Okay, can we get a direction for group 3? Can we get a direction? You may specifically have been dealing recently with someone lying to you with that Seven of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups. So the cards down here for your direction, we have the Six of Swords, we have the Page of Wands, and we have the Five of Wands. Now, interesting enough, the Five of Wands sort of came out in reverse, as well as the Six of Swords. So I'm taking that into account, however, I'm taking them upright. Okay. Yeah, I feel like we're talking about your ability to connect with people here. And the reflection, we have the Four of Wands, the Seven of Swords, and the Three of Cups. This to me feels like in the past there have been relationships where you were either settling, and this is relationships as in friendships, anything, right? We're not just talking about romantic, but take it as it resonates. There's something where you've made a home in places that were somewhat hostile to you. And so there is something here about not recognizing, perhaps even deluding yourself into thinking that a somewhat unstable situation was something that you deserved, or that it was something that was safe, that felt safe because it felt familiar, perhaps. Now, with a prediction, I do like this because I think what's coming through here is that you are starting a new cycle in connecting with people that is going to be a lot more driven around your desires, around your emotional needs, and you are taking charge in this. Like, there's something here about you kind of taking the lead. And I think overall what Spirit is saying with these bottom cards, this is your direction, meaning your advice. I think overall Spirit is saying to not take the experiences from the past into new relationships. Yes, we want to integrate the wisdom that we have gained from those situations, but not the emotional baggage. So at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups, and that being kind of like the overall energy, I think we're talking a lot about transmuting emotional experiences so that they don't linger in our system, and so that they don't, like, this feels like you just kind of want to get away from something. And what you want to get away from is the fact that you've dealt with a lot of things threatening your stability, threatening your safety. And in a lot of ways, I don't think that this was super recent. This kind of feels like you've been going through the process of, eliminating relationships and really kind of cleansing a lot of your space, and therefore also kind of demanding other energies get out of your space. And so there seems to have been a lot of kind of restructuring of personal attachments. So again, I do feel like you may have sort of you may have just kind of let go of certain friendships, certain connections, certain relationships, in favor of being by yourself, in favor of you just kind of being like, I prefer my own company right now because I don't feel good about what's going on here, so I'm just gonna, eliminate that, as it's something felt like it was a source of confusion or a source of threat is coming through, but it doesn't feel like a literal threat. Take it as it resonates, but it doesn't feel like a literal threat. It more so would have been, for example, microaggressions. It would have been somebody being passive aggressive, never being happy for you whenever you had good news to share. Like it was some very like subtle. They say sometimes your best friends can secretly be your biggest haters. I don't know. Do people say that? I don't know why I said that way. But essentially what's coming through is that there's some kind of reckoning that happened, and you've sort of pulled back your energy and were very contemplative on who it is that you're connecting with. Now, I see you getting sick of that. I see you getting tired of your own company a little bit and wanting to engage other outside of yourself. There is also, we just gotta say it. It's right there. It's looking at us right smack in the middle of the reading. There is also definitely a lot of potential for physical intimacy in your prediction. We got the Knight of Wands, we got the Page of Cups, we got the Ace of Wands. This could have to do, if we're taking it literal and if we are talking about like a romantic situation, this could have had to do with the fact that you felt safer in your own company and you didn't really want to connect with anyone on a physical basis, and you were more so kind of friend zoning everyone. That's a possibility, that you were kind of like, I don't feel safe enough there may have been some kind of issues around trusting yourself, and therefore kind of being like, you know what, I'm gonna be celibate for a while. We can be friends, but I don't really want to engage. I see you maybe breaking a little bit of celibacy. Maybe, if that's something that you want to do. Nobody's going to force you to do that, please, right? However, I do think that the direction that we're talking about down here, if we're putting that in context to this being physical intimacy in your near future, then the direction here is more so about not overthinking it and not putting too much pressure on it. There's just something here that is trying to remind you of having fun and enjoyment. And now that I'm saying that out loud, I'm looking at this sunstone, and the sunstone is Leo energy. We're talking about solar plexus energy. We're talking about the 5th house, which is all about enjoyment. So this doesn't have to be literal physical engagement. This can also just be, a re-engaging in a thirst for life, that you kind of pulled back because you had some experiences that left a sour taste in your mouth, and you're processing that and getting to a point to being okay with it. And so you're re-engaging with your thirst for experiences and life. And so Spirit, again, is saying to take the information that you learned, like the wisdom that you learned from those situations, to take that with you, but to not project that onto every new experiences. With the Page of Wands, it's about being a little bit more, it's about being just excited, without the kind of the baggage, the emotional baggage. For sure, I think enjoyment is really... And maybe it has to do with, because here I could see how this would have the effects of being like an emotional drain. And the Page of Cups is centered in this reading. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Cups. So it's almost like Spirit is saying, in order to heal some emotional aspect, Spirit is asking you to kind of go a little stupid. They really are. That's what's coming through. Or at least that's the prediction. They're saying that you are going to have a little moment of like being really sick of this and being like, you know what, I'm fine. I'm over it. I'm over it. And even if you're lying to yourself, you're telling yourself like, it's fine. I'm over it. Then that's still going to lead to this energy of like, all right, let's get back out there. I want to, like, you know, I want to look cute. I want to feel cute. I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel confident. Like there's this real desire, and that desire is going to spark something that's really going to allow you to have more fun, to attract more of that fun energy, right? Actually, let's do the dice first. And then Spirit down here, with the fact that the Six of Swords was technically in the reverse, which is all about moving on to calmer waters. And then the Five of Wands is also about surrendering, like, to the differences that we cannot consolidate. And so this is really kind of saying like, fuck it. With this page of, the Page of Wands down here is like, you know what? I can't solve this issue right now. Fuck it. I'm going to have fun. Fuck it. I'm going to go out for a drink. And pardon my French, but that's the vibe it's giving. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to solve all of my issues right now, and I'm tired of thinking about them, and I'm tired of feeling sad. So fuck it. I'm going to go out, no matter what that means. That doesn't have to mean that you have to go out and hook up with someone. It doesn't have to mean that you have to go out and have drinks. Whichever way that you engage with the world in a way that is something that excites you, that makes you feel alive. That's what this mid row is talking about, is that you're just going to feel more of a magnetic pull towards having experiences again that kind of take you out of that place of overthinking, of overfeeling. And that is going to ultimately be really healing to your Queen of Cups energy. It's almost like, you know, like you're so focused on transmuting something or kind of processing something, and the final step seems to be to surrender to it, seek out new experiences that then put into context what you've been trying to process previously. So this feels like a get out of jail free card, if you ask me. Spirit's like, girl, go have fun. I knew it. I fucking knew it. The fifth house. I knew it was going to come out, because when I mentioned the fifth house, when I was talking about the Sunstone, I was like, I hope that the dice confirm that. And they sure did. We have the fifth house, we have Uranus, absolutely, and we have Pisces energy. Go and have fun and do what feels good. Uranus is a agent of chaos for the greater good. It is chaotic, yes, but it's also necessary. With Pisces energy, we're talking about feelings, right? We're trying to process feelings, but Pisces is an energy that doesn't just want to feel things. It wants to experience. It wants to experience everything. It wants to feel everything. So this is very much a get out of jail free card. Spirit is saying, go out, go stupid, and have a little fun. Oh, I love that. This is a cheeky little message. Okay, Spirit, can we get any last insights on what energies might be affecting Group 3 at this time? What is this? We have I love this shit so much. I love it. Look we have play, and you know why play is coming out? Because you need balance. We have balance at the bottom of the deck. Because you need balance. I think you've been staying at home a lot. I think you've been processing a lot. I think you've been staying in like your safety bubble a lot. I think you've been mistrusting and not open to connecting and not open to playing, because you're like, no, I have to process. I have to understand. I have to feel. I have to. And this is like, just go be. Just go be. Look at this card. Go play. This is your homework. Go play. Go have some fun. Let's have some fun. This beat is sick. Anyways, I think we covered it. So the reflection is, you've been stealing away and you've been depriving the world of the joy of getting to interact with you. The prediction is that's gonna stop. You've been able to establish some sense of stability, enough for you to go out and go a little stupid, okay? Have a little fun, go play, go enjoy yourself, and the direction, all that you need to keep in mind is that it's okay to follow your desires, that you don't have to have all of this processed and all of this healed in order for you to be ready to go out and have fun again. All right? I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really hope it resonates. And if you would like to book a personal reading, you can do so on my website. The information is linked below. I will never DM you to sell you a reading. That's a scammer that's doing that. Lots of them, sadly. But I do love personal readings, so go book a reading with me. And if you, I don't know why I said that. If you what? I don't know. I'm telling you, this reading today was chaotic, but I loved it. It was so fun. So maybe we'll do kind of like a rapid fire like this again. Maybe we'll make the check-in a regular thing if that's something you're interested in. I really like this style, so I'm digging it. Let me know if you're digging it. Other than that, I do hope I get to read for you again sometime. Until then, take care.